Librans, and welcome to Friday. Thank goddess it's Friday. And I got good news. Sunny and cool this weekend for the judge and juries of the zodiac. Not saying you won't work or learn or have spiritual change, but overall things are pretty cool. The moon is in your sign, so emotions and ego are on the same team. And what's interesting is this will be a fascinating weekend, I think, for Librans, because the moon is crossing Saturn retrograde like it has for the last 6 months, but next month Saturn will be direct. So there's a very good chance that you will come to some new emotional ego conclusions this weekend that end up being the way you end up going on a certain topic. So for instance, maybe you've been working out Saturn retrograde in Libra with your husband this whole time. And you've been trying this and trying that with them, and this triggers him and that triggers you. Well, this weekend, you might try something different and it sort of works. And it might be the solution. But there's more. The Sun. We're in chapter 3 of Sun in Taurus. And while you're doing ego-emotional changes, you're also focused on trust, intimacy, and boundaries. Now, yesterday I said there was a breakdown probably in the Libra boundary consciousness. Today, with Mercury ruling the day, I think there's breakthrough. In other words, I think you're going to get what you need to understand when it comes to what you're comfortable with and what you're not. Boundaries you can stand behind, boundaries you can't. Boundaries that you can tolerate and boundaries you cannot, right? So, clarity. And it may very well be a big part of the whole ego-emotional thing. For instance, maybe your ego doesn't need to bark at people if your boundaries are in the right place in the first place, right? Maybe someone would walk in and intrude in your house if the garden gate was closed and locked appropriately. You wouldn't have to bark and have an ego emotion. So they are tied. But there's more, says Christopher. Jupiter! The superstellium in Jupiter, that's Jupiter, Venus, and Mercury, oh my, is showing that this weekend also Librans will come to a commitment of what they want or expect partnerships to be. Now it all starts to fall together. In fact, that Jupiter is probably going to be the driving force of the weekend. So through the weekend, Librans will probably realize, you know what, when it comes to marriage, I need this and no less. And that's the type of commitment. And over the weekend, I recommend you say, I'm committed to this. I don't care how it's going to happen. I don't care how it's going to happen, but this needs to happen. And that is the beginning of the change. It's also very probable that by committing to a certain quality of marriage and partnership, it is that maybe gives you the shift in your emotional ego direction when the moon crosses Saturn and sets your new ego 2.0 in June. You follow me with all this? I hope so. It's a dynamic weekend. At the end of the day, be willing to commit to what you want in relationships. Now it's Friday. We've got new content going live tonight in Soul Nirvana, Just Ask Chris, Astro 104, and a new one, Medicine Wheel. This is the Medicine Wheel, a show by Master Christopher Onefeather, who is a Zodiac Pisces director. This man has absorbed consciousness since Atlantis, and he's coming to Soul Nirvana to teach us about medicine wheels and how to use them as a tool in our own spiritual development. Come on down and check it out. If you've ascended to Soul Nirvana, come on down. It's at soulnirvana.com. Of course, I'll be there too. All right, that's all I got for your weekend forecast. Good luck with all that, Libra, and I'll see you back on Monday with more. Until then, live, love, be. So